Today, we're going to be looking at how to get 150 grams of protein for less than 1,500 calories. My name is Jacob Zemer. I've been a coach online working with clients remotely for the past 10 years, helping thousands of people get in the best shape of their life. Real people with careers, families, not meatheads carrying around Tupperware and a jug of water. And today, we're going to be talking about how to get 150 grams of protein for less than 1,500 calories. And bonus, we're also going to be getting 50 grams of fiber. Because for most people, when they start their fitness journey, they really struggle to keep their calories down while hitting their protein targets. For my coaching clients, I recommend they get at least 0.8 grams of protein per pound. That is the minimum amount of protein I want them eating per day. And I also want them to get 10 grams of fiber per 500 calories. So I'm going to walk you through breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack that's going to allow you to hit these calorie, protein, and fiber targets. We're going to start with breakfast, and I'm actually going to give you two options. The reason why is I previously did a video of how to get 200 grams of protein for less than 2,000 calories, and I talked about Greek yogurt. But I want to give you a separate option if you've previously seen this video. I do think one of the most important things about nutrition is sustainability. And in order for something to be sustainable, it needs to be convenient. So the easiest way to start your day off with protein, in my opinion, is Greek yogurt. And when it comes to Greek yogurt, I'm looking at two things. One, how much added sugar does it have? And is it low in fat? Because both of those things are going to impact the calories. This Chobani zero sugar, non-fat Greek yogurt, it has 70 calories with 13 grams of protein. I have what's called the protein test. You're gonna take the grams of protein, in this case 13, add a 0 to it. Does it have that many calories or less? This in fact does pass our protein test, so this is a great food for hitting your protein goal while keeping your calories down. What I would do with this is I would have 3 servings. That's going to be 2 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. You're going to have that with 170 grams of mixed berries or raspberries, blackberries, whichever your preference, and 1 tablespoon of almond butter. That's going to put you at 400 calories, 45 grams of protein, and is going to have 14 grams of fiber. That's a lot of fiber to start your day. That, in my opinion, is the easiest way to get started on your protein goal, getting started on your fiber goal. But I want to give you a second option because I mentioned this in a previous video. So as a second option for breakfast, we're going to do a baked egg. We're literally just going to place this in a container, put it in the oven, and cook it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 whole eggs. We're going to take 150 grams of non-fat cottage cheese, put this all into a container, 20 grams of skim mozzarella cheese. You could obviously use cheddar, whatever cheese your preference is. And then we're going to put some veggies in there. We can either do 50 grams of spinach, which in my opinion really is very easy to mix in with the eggs. Or if you wanted something that's a little bit more nutrient dense, you could do something like broccoli. But both spinach and broccoli, they're a great high fiber vegetable that is rich in an antioxidant known as sulforaphane. So that is my second breakfast option for you. And that option, again, around 400 calories, but only with 40 grams of protein, 12 grams of fiber. A little less convenient than the Greek yogurt, but if you cook this up in batch, you could have it ready for 2-3 days. Just pull it out of your refrigerator, heat it up, breakfast is served. My name's Jacob Zemer. I'm going to take 45 seconds to tell you about my coaching program. I've helped thousands of people with real lives lose real weight. You can go to jacobzemer.com to learn more. There are 4 major tenets of my coaching program. The first is that we give you macros. It's calories, protein, and fiber. That's all we're concerned about, along with custom meal templates. We also are going to build you a custom program on my app. My app includes over 1,000 videos. So regardless what space you have or what goals you have, my app can help you train better. We also are going to create a cardiovascular program for you on the app as well, along with step goals. And fourth, you're going to go see your doctor, you're going to get your labs done, and we're going to walk you through the proper preventative health based on your family history. This is my coaching program that's helped thousands of people get in the best shape of their life. Option number 2 is going to be a protein wrap. We can either use albacore tuna or turkey deli meat. I'm going to start off by talking about the albacore tuna because that's my preference. You should incorporate seafood a couple of times a week into your diet because you want to be getting omega-3s in your diet. So we're going to take a can of albacore tuna, 33 grams of protein. We're going to mix it up with some low-fat mayonnaise, chop up some apples, Add it to the mix, stir it together, and then you can add something like garlic, relish, celery, anything that's gonna give it some flavor that's very low in calories. And then I'm going to put it on top of a mission carb wrap. We're looking at 400 calories, 40 grams of protein, and 20 grams of fiber coming from the mission carb wrap. Couple important things to talk about here. One, people demonize products like this, but the reality is it's very hard to hit a fiber goal, especially one as aggressive as 10 grams of fiber per 500 calories without incorporating some sort of product like this. It's difficult to do it just through eating fruit and vegetables. Secondly, the reason that we're using light mayonnaise or non-fat cottage cheese is that this diet incorporates a lot of animal protein. We have eggs for breakfast, we're having deli meat or tuna fish now. And when you have a lot of animal protein, you're also going to increase your saturated fat. So for that reason, that's why we're opting for light mayonnaise or non-fat cottage cheese. If you do not like tuna fish, you're going to use 180 grams of the deli meat. Obviously, you're not going to mix it together the same way. You can have the apples on the side, 150 grams of apples. And again, you're still gonna end up around 400 calories with 40 grams of protein and 20 grams of fiber, which is a ton of fiber for lunch. And fiber is gonna keep you feeling satiated. Meal number 3, this is going to be a snack, therefore it has to be convenient. What I find often is people have breakfast, lunch, and then there's a long time period before they have dinner. So when you walk through the door, you're very likely going to graze prior to dinner. And that is always a recipe for disaster when on a diet. You want to be tracking everything you're eating. You want to be very intentional with all of your meals. So for meal number 3, we want this to be super convenient. I'm going to use a pre-cooked chicken, and I tend to prefer pulled chicken because it's not going to be rubbery like a lot of pre-cooked chicken is. And the advantage of this is we can just heat this up in the microwave. So we're going to use a barbecue pulled chicken, and we're going to add a half a cup of black beans to it. Yes, I know this says pork. Unfortunately, they were out of the chicken that I love, but we're gonna pop up an image of that on the screen. It is 190 calories, 24 grams of protein. It is a lean source of protein, and it passes our protein test. Now, this brand of pulled chicken has a very low calorie barbecue sauce on it. Traditionally, barbecue sauce can be high in calorie. So if you don't have access to this brand, you can buy any pulled chicken, and then you can use Ray's no sugar added barbecue sauce. I love this brand. I think it is the best no sugar barbecue sauce on the market. With a half a cup of black beans and our portion of the chicken, we're going to be looking at 300 calories, 30 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber. Now on to dinner time. This is our 4th and final meal of the day. We're going to make what's called the monster mash, where we're going to take a ground meat. We're gonna add either potatoes or some rice, add some vegetables, and then we're going to put some bone broth over top of it. Now, the reason that I'm asking you to have 4 meals a day is we want to break up our protein throughout the day. I am 230 pounds. I have about 12% body fat, and I eat 4 meals a day. It's not necessary to break up your meals more than that unless you're feeling full, very stuffed after each and every single meal. Our 4th meal, the ground meat here, we have lean beef. This is 93.7 ground meat. Let's talk about what constitutes a lean source of protein. So we're gonna flip around the label, 170 calories, 23 grams of protein. I mentioned before, you take the grams of protein, you add a 0 to it. This passes our protein test. But in order to determine that this is a lean source of protein, what we're looking for is that it has less than 4 grams of saturated fat per 4 ounces. And this in fact does. So it not only passes our protein test, this is also a lean source of protein. We are going to take this, and then to it, we are going to use cauliflower rice. I like to buy frozen because it's very, very easy to cook up. We're going to do 3 cups of cauliflower rice. When selecting a cauliflower rice, we really want something with as minimal grams of fat as possible. Again, because we're trying to keep down our calories. Per 3/4 cup, this only has 15 calories. So I can get 3 cups of this for only 60 calories, and that's going to have 8 grams of fiber. That is a lot of fiber. And to it, I'm gonna cook up 200 grams of spinach. So I'm gonna cook that up separately. I'm gonna heat up my beef in one pan. I'm gonna cook up my spinach in another. I'm gonna put the rice into a microwave, Pour the rice into a bowl, pour the beef over top, put the spinach in there, stir it all around, and then I'm going to put my bone broth over top, add some additional protein to it. The purpose of the bone broth is to soften the dish. When you're using leaner sources of ground meat, they tend to be less tender than fattier sources. So just add the bone broth sparingly. All in, we're looking at a little over 350 calories, 45 grams of protein with 12 grams of fiber. That's how you get 150 grams of protein for less than 1,500 calories with the bonus of 50 grams of fiber. My name is Jacob Zemer. I've coached thousands of people to get in the best shape of their life. If you want to learn more about my services, you can go to jacobzemer.com. If you like what you saw, you can hit subscribe. Each and every single week, I put out one long format piece of content. On my Instagram, TikTok, along with YouTube, I put out short format content each and every single day that's going to help you lose the fat, build muscle, and take control of your health and fitness. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And again, you can go to jacobzemer.com to get in the best shape of your life.